Well, good morning guys and girls. It is Wednesday morning and I thought I'd just bring you along this morning. I'm going out on the bike, I'm going out on the mountain bike today, but I just kind of wanted to show you a bit of preparation for going out for a ride. So it's not just a case of jumping on the bicycle and heading off. There's a bit of preparation goes in before. Got a lovely day, so really nice sunny day today, and birds are enjoying the good weather. Really nice start to the day. So what I'm going to do, guys, is just show you a little bit of preparation. So guys, just any of you that have been following along know that I've been training for endurance since New Year, and I've been doing rides of about 50k plus, and today I'm going to be doing a ride of around 65k. After that I'm going to start doing more intense riding, so I'm going to be doing stuff that is much more intensive, potentially shorter rides, but much more intensive training for specific purposes. So as with anything, preparation is the key. So in terms of getting around, now on my laptop I use Wikiloc, so I'm subscribed to Wikiloc, and if you can see here, you can, obviously this is the Spanish version, you can put mountain bike in. You want a route that is circular, so it comes back to the start, or you've got routes that just go from one place to another, or any route, and then you can put in the distance you want to go, how hard you want the ride, etc. And then once you've done that, so once you've found the ride that you want, these are all rides that have been logged by people before, and excuse me, as soon as I get my rides really sorted out that I've been doing, I shall be uploading to Wikiloc, so I'm going to contribute to the community, so that I put some nice rides together, particularly for the gravel bike, which is like those 50-50 rides I've been doing on the gravel bike, on the road and off-road, which there aren't really many rides on here. So I use Wikiloc, and for instance I might choose this one. It's not a ride I would choose, but for argument's sake, and then it gives me the chance to download that. It shows me the ride, and then it gives me the chance to download the ride, and when I download it, it gives me a choice of whether I just download it to a file. Let me just get you a bit closer here. So I can download it just to a file, I can download it to Google Earth, or I can download it directly to my Garmin device. And so I normally download it as an archive file, and with all of the points. So this has got 6,609 points along the route, and then excuse me, I download it. And so when I download it, it comes down into a program I've got called Garmin Basecamp. So here's Garmin Basecamp, and in Garmin Basecamp I paid for, not from Garmin, there's a lot of third-party places you can go on the internet. I paid for a proper map, so instead of just like the basic map that you get, so if I change this up here, maps, in fact I don't think I'll be able to do it because I've locked them all off, the other ones, but the other ones are just, they just show you the roads. And obviously this, when you zoom in, if I use the zoom tool here, if I zoom into here, it gives me all of the contours. So if you can see that, it gives you all of the contours, so you know whether you're going to be climbing, whether you're going to be descending. It gives you all the information about where you're going to be riding. And then obviously here we've got the route. Now I used to work with Basecamp and with Garmin a lot, when I worked in Morocco, because we were working and riding motorbikes, etc., in places that that had no roads and had almost nothing, so you had to navigate by GPS. The GPS I use, this is the route I'm going to do today. Let me just zoom in a bit on that. No, this is the route I'm going to be doing today. Sorry, I'm doing all this one-handed, so if I click actually on the route itself, it gives me the direction and it gives me all the points, etc. So the GPS I use is a map 62. It's one of these. This is what I call a proper GPS. I mean, it's not one of these things you get in your car, or one of these things you have on your motorbike, or your mobile phone. It's a proper GPS, which means that you can do a lot of stuff with it. I mean, I won't go right through what you can do, but it's very, very comprehensive. So this will get you out of trouble. And I've never been anywhere in the world, apart from in a tunnel, where you don't get a signal. So it's a very, very strong antenna. It's a very strong, robust unit. It's waterproof. It's really good. This is the map 62. The previous one, the map 60, which was the model before this, was actually a better GPS. I had several map 60s and they were an excellent unit. They had more, they've dumbed this down a little bit. Obviously there's a newer version than this now, but they've dumbed this down a little bit. Some of the features that the 60 had that aren't on here. So they've got some features on here that are a bit more sort of playtime and less industrial. And the more industrial features they had in the 60, they took off. So it's a shame. But it's still a very, very good unit. So I'll be using this to navigate the route today. Although I know the route pretty much, because it's one that we've used parts of before on other rides. So the only part that's very different, if you can see here, is this part here, this loop here, which we're going to do, and we're going to come down to the Rio Grande and then come across the bridge. Now, as soon as we get across the bridge, we've done that before. We've come down this other track here and done that before. So all of this loop we've done before, and most of this we've done before. It's only this this part here where we turn off this part here where we turn off and do this loop. That's the only part that's really new. So I'm just going to take the GPS along just to make sure I don't miss. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to follow that without any problem, but just going to take it along just to make sure we don't miss anything out. So Wikiloc for the routes, unless I'm just making the route up myself, and then I download that into Basecamp, and I can tweak it in here. I can move the route around and I can do different things, and then I upload that into my Garmin, or I can download the route directly from Wikiloc into here, but I prefer to have it here and be able to visualize it and see where I'm supposed to go. So that's the like the route prep part of riding. And this morning I've taken a bit longer because I have found an old mountain bike race from 2010, which is this one here. This is an old mountain bike race from 2010 that was in Coin. So this is a very hard route, so this is going to be one of the routes I use for my next stage in my training, when I'm going to be doing much harder routes, shorter and harder routes. So I'm starting to put those routes together, ready to have harder rides. So I've got three or four good endurance rides at the moment, and then I'm going to start to put together these much harder rides, which have got much steeper climbs and much harder work involved. Okay guys, I hope that's interesting. So that's the kind of prep. So what we're prepping here now is we're prepping the Garmin. I'm charging the mobile phone, make sure the mobile phone is completely charged. I'm charging my Apple Watch to make sure that's completely charged, because I run the Strava off the Apple Watch. So the Strava that logs my rides is running off the Apple Watch, and that then uploads to the phone, and then the phone puts that onto Strava on the internet. Obviously I take the phone along for security, just in case something happens. I can call somebody, or I can use the phone as GPS or whatever in an emergency. So they're the three things I make sure I've got completely charged. If I take the GPS, I don't often take it, but today I'm taking it. So they're the three things I make sure I've got charged before I leave, fully charged. And then of course I make sure that the GoPro's charged so I can do something for you guys. So that's kind of the tech part of getting ready to go out on the ride. Alright guys, I'll bring you along for the next part.